I also thought was a pretty interesting argument from last month in this same article. And of
Hmm.
course, the the business hopium is talking about, and I got to tell you, I was at a family function 2 days ago with business owners. They own a very successful real estate brokerage in New Jersey, and
Hmm.
they could not believe that they're absolutely convinced that being in the office is more productive and better because they've been buying into the chud bait, into the CEO corp speak bait that they've been dropping in Business Insider and all this nonsense, even though every study has shown that remote work is more productive for the employees. You have happier employees who can do it in less amount of time, the exact same amount of work, and it's more flexible. But now what they're saying is that since Google mandating workers back to the office 3 days a week, right? The question's going to be, can they legally do it? So, what I know you've got some thoughts on mandating back to work.
I love mandating everything, as you know. They're my favorite things in the world. I think everything should be mandated. I
Attendance
think you can.
records.
Yeah, I think we should just have a permanent boot nailed to the back of our necks at all points in time. Okay. So like the biggest problem with this, and I'm by no means a legal expert, so I'm not gonna speak to like legality of it all. Um, the biggest problem with all of this is that the cat's already out of the fucking bag. Um, you know, once you realize that these silly office situations are not needed, um, the argument just falls flat. Um, but again, and I mentioned this before, I mean, you can demand people come back to the office, but I mean,
Will Ferrell,
all,
yes,
all
it is.
it all it takes is your competitor to say yes, you can work from home because the competitor doesn't give a shit. Um, and then all of a sudden you're going to grab all the best talent because it's like, okay, well, unless you're paying for transit time and you're paying for gas or commuting, um, unless you're paying for meals at the office and all that other shit, unless you're giving like serious incentives for people to come back to the office, all it takes is that company that's going to be like, no, you can work from home. They're going to get all the best talent. You're going to get the people who don't get hired by those companies. It's going to become like a remote work friendly companies market.
At least the
Really.
ones that it's most important to, yeah. But yes. Uh,
Can your
so
boss force you to return to the office? This is going to be
this
interesting.
is really interesting because they said that many employees worked from home from an office pre-pandemic, were told that their work assignments were only temporary, or they even signed contracts that specifically said that we can bring you back at any time. For those workers, a mandatory return is it's probably within their right. Probably. However,
Mm-hmm.
other employees might be in a different situation. Like if they were hired into what seemed like permanent remote jobs, but they were now told by their managers that it was unlikely they'd ever return, they could create a liability for themselves by changing the conditions of work in such a way. So, workers with disabilities or caregiving responsibilities, like having kids,
Mm-hmm.
um, allowing those employees to work from home unless it would cause undue hardship on the organization, which they'll find a way to say, right? But this is really interesting. This Toronto employment lawyer says that up until a few months ago, the answer was unequivocally that yes, they could mandate you back to the office. However, the understanding was that when these COVID safety concerns ended, that the employees would go back. But now they've ended, and it's well past the window of having any legal necessity to keep people home. Yet they've been managing to keep people home for way longer. So
Oh my god.
remote workers are
So
now saying that since they were permitted to stay home, that means that their terms of employment changed by default. They have now become remote employees, so it is a constructive dismissal to mandate them back to work. That's threading a needle. I don't know how many judges, and maybe you'll have to have some kind of worker-friendly judge that sides with this lawyer saying so if they decide to challenge this law. But here, I'd wrestle with a single sentence for an hour, distracted by ringing phones and lively water cooler gossip. Once I began working remotely, I produced quality work at triple the speed. Working remotely works best for me. Yes. Huh, how about that? And here's the study that showed productivity increased by 7.5% with no dips in customer satisfaction. I
No
mean,
dips in CSAT? Well, of course not, because someone's going to be happier and they're going to be able to deliver better CX. Of
and handle
course.
more customers in the same amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not having to talk to my stupid idiot boss
Or
or
your stupid
deal
idiot
with
coworkers. Yeah.
deal with annoying fucking extrovert people who are just like, I just want to like talk your face off while we're all trying to work because I hate my life and I'm trying to distract from it. Sorry, that wasn't fair. It's just a personal experience I had where I once upon a time had a job where and it's really hard, right? Because like someone with ADHD plus extroverts is like, holy fuck, that's hell. Because you're trying to put your head down and focus, and focusing is already like the garlic to your vampire. And then you have like, oh my god, great, a distraction, cool. You've
Every
just
distraction
entered
under the
my
sun.
periphery.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like great. So this is like I'm operating at a handicap already because I'm already easily distractible. And before you know it, I haven't gotten all my shit done, and it's 5 p.m. and I got to clock out. And it's because a lot of my day was distracted by outside influence. If I'm at my home, I am literally just in this room, in my home office, in the Brad cave as I call it. I've never called it that before. I just made that up on the spot.
Oh,
So
God.
whatever.
Oh,
Fuck it.
cringe.
Brad cave.
The Brad
But like
Cage.
I can just force myself to do nothing but the task at hand. There's nothing around me. Well, except
Everything.
except
Right.
the except the little furry anyway.
Meow. Right.
Exactly. But I can just have kittens in my lap. But that's opposed to like I have to actually you're obligated to talk to these people. That's my least favorite thing about the office. Like if it's a coworker, you can't just ignore them because then you're going to come off as like Dennis Reynolds, right? Or like it's just going to be weird. It's bad
Well,
etiquette. And if it's your boss, you have to fucking talk to them even if they like don't have anything going on. And I don't know if y'all have had this before, but I have where the boss obviously doesn't have a lot on their plate. So they kind of just want to come socialize. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to be the one also yelling at me because I didn't
I didn't
get
get my work done. Right.
I didn't
Well,
get the TPS reports done.
this is amazing though. Working from home eliminates racism apparently. No, well,
What?
microaggressions and other hardships, especially felt by equity deserving communities, whether that be in terms of gender, sexuality, or race, because 75% of Black Canadians, 70% of non white Canadians experience racism in the workplace. So, therefore, they may want to stay home because they may experience racism because most of them do at some point. Well, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. But microaggressions, that's the other microaggression. Oh, man. This is when they talk about like woke stuff. That's what they talk about. Like, look, yeah, I know there's stuff I don't even think about, and people are all kinds of shitty to other people in the office. So I don't want to crap on any of that stuff. But that just seems over the top. But what does the future of work look like? Right, as long as workers are able to unite and push for what they need and what they want, we can actually sort of set the agenda for how we interact in the workplace. Blah 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 blah. Workplace decisions.
That sounds like some commie shit.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like some dirty commie shit.
Now,
that's the only part of the article I'm really hitting with, to be honest. Like,
the lawyer says, well, the lawyer believes that in-office works best. Sharing anecdata that billable hours at his firm dropped by 35% in the early months of the pandemic when his colleagues were working from home. That's not why. You weren't getting hired for as many gigs. It wasn't that. I think employers have made a massive mistake in not ordering people to go back to work a long time ago. So now he's saying that now they've opened themselves up to a liability to be sued by their employees potentially for changing the terms of work. Which,
Well,
yeah, let's do
yeah.
that. I'm down.
I'm going to be honest, this article hits different given the recent rumblings about COVID restrictions. Um,
Well,
it's like, okay, wait. What direction are we going here? Because, like, are we preparing for another, like, okay, everybody back to home after we're trying to get them back in the office? Like, what direction are we trying to steer the ship in here?
yeah, 2 more weeks to stop the spread, right?
Oh my god, I can't believe like I there are places that are already re-implementing mandates in my area.
There was a
And it's
college
like,
in
okay,
Atlanta, apparently. I just saw that something
yep,
about a college in the Atlanta area that all students and faculty mask mandate requirement. Oh,
yep. And then you know where it's going. It's like, okay, well the masks themselves aren't working, so now we gotta lock. I think this is all like this is just my personal opinion, y'all. I think this is all centered around the fall booster campaign they got going on. Because I'm I'm gonna spoil it for everybody, but our governments are owned by the pharmaceutical industries. It's just
mm-hmm.
kind of a fact. You can look this up. You can Google it for fuck's sake. It takes about 10 seconds. But I mean, they got a big booster campaign. It's not just COVID booster. They got a flu and another weird one.
They're going to combine them, apparently, so that your flu shot and your COVID shot
Yeah,
are the same thing. Because just like Trump said, it's like a flu. It's like a flu. Makes my heart swell with pride. It's like a flu. Oh, my God.
man.
Dude. And Alex Jones saying that he heard from the TSA people. Lockdowns are coming back. Mask mandates are coming back. Okay, we'll see.
By December, we're
I
gonna
sure,
have full COVID restrictions completely restored.
oh goodness, I sure hope not. So